This is my passion. This is Ike's Outdoors.
Hey guys, Ike here from IkesOutdoors.com. Today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about turkey hunting. And what I'm going to talk to you is I'm going to show you some of the methods that I use to turkey hunt. And I'm not going to go out and say that these are methods and tricks that are going to work for you guys, but they are things I've found over the course of turkey hunting that have worked real well. And I've been turkey hunting since '99. That's when I killed my first turkey. And every year that I've turkey hunted, I've killed a turkey. So, and I haven't hunted successively or consecutively since '99, but I've hunted a lot of turkeys since then, and I've been able to harvest a turkey every time I went, and using these tips. And you'll find my methods are a little bit different than what other people's methods are. So I'm just going to share a few of those tips with you, a few of those tricks, and kind of get you started, hopefully get you started on the right track. Whereas when I started turkey hunting, we didn't know nothing about turkey hunting. So first thing to know about turkeys is how to locate one. Turkeys are going to roost over water as a general rule. I've seen them roost, you know, places where there's not water, but 9 times out of 10 I've seen them roost over water or near water. And when I say water, I've got a creek back here, and all my turkeys that are on this property are roosting right here along this creek. But turkeys will also roost along ponds and other things like that. I've got a property in another spot that's got a creek on it, and turkeys don't roost on it, they roost on the other side over a pond. So as a general rule, you can tell, or you can find your turkeys over water, and that's a good rule of thumb to go by. And one thing you'll notice, if there's land that doesn't have some type of water on it, you're not going to find the turkeys. So water is a key point to finding your turkeys. Go over some calls with you guys too as we go, and as they pertain to the subject matter that I'm talking about. Locator calls. You're going to find a ton of locator calls on the market. Crow calls, coyote calls, owl calls, things like that. What works best for me is a coyote or an owl call. This is a modified owl call. There's tons of them out here. This is one that I've done a little bit of work to get it to sound a little bit better. It started out as a Primos, and I've done some changing on it. But an owl call is very effective. You can go out about dark when the owls start to actually talk and actually sing. About dark or after dark in the evenings. Before daylight in the mornings is another good time to get out and do this. And generally, if I don't know where turkeys are at before I get out and hunt, you know, I'll go out in the evenings and I'll hit this owl call. If I know where they're at, whenever I hit the woods in the morning to start pursuing those turkeys, I still hit this thing, and I'll kind of hit it as I go in before I get set up, so I can locate them, and I can get closer and closer and closer to them. And you're going to be able to do a couple different calls with this. These are the ones I use, and you can do basic just a hoot hoot hoot, you know, just like that. So pretty simple one there, and you buy one of these calls, it'll give you instructions how to do that. Another one you can use is, it's kind of a shrill sound to it, but basically when I'm blowing into this, I'm saying, who cooks for you? And toward the end, I'm just basically going brrr with my tongue. So and a tom turkey that's on the roost, when he hears that, he'll actually gobble at you. And a lot of things will set off a tom turkey when he's gobbling. But crow calls and coyote calls will work during the day. To some point around here, the turkeys just do not respond to it hardly at all. This is about the only locator call that works for me every time. I've had a little bit of success with crow calls and stuff like that, but 9 times out of 10, this is the only one I carry, and it's the one I use. So setting up for turkeys is, you know, it's going to be different in every scenario, but I like to hunt my turkeys kind of like deer. And when it comes to calling, I'll do a little bit of calling, but I do very little calling. It's good for you to know the different types of calls and when to use them. But my rule of thumb when it comes to calling is, if I can get a hen talking, I'm going to use the exact same sounds that the hen's making. When the hen starts clucking at me or making her different calls, I'm just going to respond right back to that hen and say the same thing to her that she's saying to me. Because if you can get a hen in on you, or you can sound like a hen, you're going to get a tom to come in as well. But like I said, I don't use calling as much as what a lot of other people use. I hunt my turkey like deer pretty much. I go in the morning, I use my owl call, and I'll move toward the turkeys until I get to where I think I'm set up on them. And I'll do a lot of scouting, and I'll start patterning these turkeys. It's pretty easy to pattern turkeys. They know, if you know where they're roosting, they'll come down and they'll go a certain direction almost every time unless they're disrupted. So I'll find that pattern in the morning. I'll come out, I'll do my owl call, I'll figure out where they're at, and I'll just start moving closer and closer to where they are. And when I get close enough to where they are, I think, okay, that, you know, they're roosting 100 yards over here, 75 yards over here, whatever, and they're coming this direction. Well, then I'm going to set up right there on the trail, and I'm actually not going to do any calling unless I need to. I'm going to set up right there on the trail. I'm going to find me a good brushy area like this, or I'm going to set me up a ground blind on there. I don't like ground blinds. They work really good, but I like to be more mobile, because if I mess up here, that's the cool thing about turkeys. If I mess up here, I can loop around and I can get in front of them again. And if I mess up again, I can break up the whole flock, and I can do some calling, and I can get them to come back to me. So if you mess up on turkeys, don't be discouraged. You can get back in front of them. And that's the reason I don't use a blind, is I like to be more mobile. Now, I might set up a tree stand, and then I can get down from the tree stand and make my moves there. But 9 times out of 10, I like to just set up. I'll find a good brushy area like this right here, and I'll just set up in it. And the thing with turkeys that you're going to want to, that you really have to focus on, is their vision. Turkeys have really, really good vision. You're going to have to set up, you're going to have to be ready at all times with your bow or your gun. You have to be ready, because once that turkey comes in, unlike deer, well, I've had deer come in at 20 yards and actually stand and watch me draw my bow back and get settled in on them and never move. And I've had turkeys come in, or deer come in and watch me bust me and go out there about 20 more yards and stand and look back at me and stomp their foot, and then I'll shoot them there. With turkeys, if you scare a turkey, he's gone. He's going to run, he's going to fly, he's going to move. He's going to get out of there quickly. So their eyes are the biggest things. You know, they may hear you a little bit, but if you look at turkeys, they ain't got the big radar ears like a deer does, you know. And they're not going to smell you. They're going to see you more than they are going to anything. So good camo pattern is very important. I've got 2 different kinds of patterns on here. This vest is mothwing spring mimicry, and this jacket that I'm wearing is cloak. And the same way with this hat, it's cloak, and you can check them out at cloakdna.com. Very, very cool pattern, and going to be awesome for turkey hunting. Same way with this mothwing winter mimicry, and anything you can do like that to add a little three dimension to your camo is going to help you out in the long run. So I like to set up on the turkeys like a deer. I like to know the trail that they're using and the area that they're using and set up on them there. And if that don't work, like I said, I'll run and get in front of them. But on my first setup, I won't hardly call at all. I will hardly, unless if they come to me, then great, I'm going to shoot one. If they come out and they're too far for me to shoot, or they're not on the trail I want them on, that, and then I'll start doing some calling. And on the second attempt, third attempt, of course I'll call there, trying to make it sound like I'm a turkey that's lost and busted, moved away from the group. So I'm trying to get gathered back up with them. And the calls that I use, I went off and forgot my favorite call, but I like to use a box call, a paddle call, and I'll put up a picture of the paddle calls I've got here. These are what I like to use because they're real easy to use, they're real simple, they do cause a lot of movement, but I've never had an issue with them. I like to call with them, and then I'll basically just set them down. You're going to do very sparse calling. You know, if I got a turkey in on me, I'm going to do very little calling when I've got him in sight, unless he's moving away, and then I'll start doing some calling. But there's also other calls. You know, we've got several glass calls out there. This one's a Primo's call. This one here is my favorite. This is a nice call made by this is a snap cracking combo, and this one's real cool. You got several different strikers on these, and you can make several different sounds. You can see on my vest here I've got 3 different strikers, and each one will produce a different sound on this call. And I don't know if this is conditioned or not, but so you can make a wide variety of calls And I see this side's a little bit more shrill than this side. I'm surprised turkeys aren't answering me right now, but each one of these strikers is going to have a little bit different sound. So it's really nice to have a couple different strikers on it. So those are pretty easy to use. The slate calls like that are pretty easy to use. The mouth calls are by far probably the most effective, but I can't use one, so I don't ever carry one with me. I just can't use them. So that's the calls that I use. I actually do have another locator call in here inside. I've got my pro call somewhere in there, but so those are the calls that I use. Like I said, the box call is by far the most effective for me and the one I like to use the most. The next thing that you're going to need is a good vest or a good way to carry all your calls. Like I said, this vest here is made by Mothwing Winter Mimicry. It's got a good camo pattern to it, lots of pockets. It's very comfortable. When I sit down, it's got a cushion right here that I can fold down. It's got a cushion on the back, so I can put that right underneath my butt, and I can put this right against my back, and I can sit down against a tree. So very, very cool. Very, very important to have a good comfortable vest or a good bag. You know, you can use several different things, but I like the vest because it also has the pocket in the back. So, and I carry my decoys in on my pocket, and then I can carry my turkey out with it. Decoys is the next thing we'll talk about here. I've got several different decoys, and the more you have, the better off you're going to be. Get all them stakes put back up. I carry 4 of them with me, and they're 4 different they're 4 different brands. I've got a hen here, and this is a this is one that come from Walmart. I can't even remember. It's Flambeau or something like that, but it's just a hen. And then I've got a Jake here. I like to use the Jake in my setup because it makes the other toms come in. He sees this Jake, he's going to get aggressive toward this Jake, and he's going to come in and probably want to kick this Jake's butt. So the other ones I use are blow-up ones, and they got a different look to them. And the reason I like to use 2 different brands is to get, if the turkey don't like those, maybe he'll like these. If he doesn't like these, maybe he'll like the other ones. So these are a blow-up, and they work really good. These are by Cherokee Sports, and it's called the Featherlight. See there, it doesn't take much to blow it up. They're pretty tough. I've had these for a couple years, and they're pretty tough. The nice thing about it too is they really rotate in the wind good. They got a good action to them, and they look pretty good. I've never had a problem with the turkeys shying away from these blow-up types. They really seem to do really well. I've got a hen there, and I think this one's a Jake. No, this one's a hen as well. So it's just a different position. This one's feeding, whereas this one's standing up. So a couple different positions there. I got 3 hens and I've got 1 Jake, and those work really well. And what I'll do is I'll position the feeding hen out toward the back, and I'll position the Jake and one of the hens closer to me, so I want to bring that tom in as close as possible, and I can use that Jake to make him mad and get him over there. He'll think that Jake's trying to breed one of them hens that's his. So those are the kind of decoys I carry. You can check out, there's a lot of different setups that work real well, and some of them that don't work real well. So the last thing I'm going to talk about here is optics. With turkeys, you know, turkeys like to get out in the wide open areas, and toms like to get out in them and strut, and they like to get out in them feed and stuff like that. So a good set of optics is going to be pretty important, and a good way of carrying them. I just got a binocular harness that I bought at Academy. This is my favorite one. I've got a lockdown, and I've tried other ones in the past, and this cheap one right here works real well. It's real comfortable, real easy to use. And I've got just a set of 10 by 50 binoculars. I can see real good at them, I can see real far out of them, and they're comfortable to use. So a really good set of binoculars is going to be very important. On your bow and your gun, your shotgun setup, the last thing you're going to want to do is you want to pattern your shotgun. You want to use a 3-inch mag. I use a 3-inch mag with a number 4 shot in it. Works real well to take down turkeys. I'll go out and pattern it. Holds a good tight pattern. I use a double full turkey choke in my shotgun, and that takes down turkeys real well. So check your regulations. You know, make sure that everything you're using is legal. And on my bow, I set my bow up actually with a slow, heavy arrow, because with a turkey, I don't want a complete pass through. I want to hit that turkey in the wings, and I want to hit those wings, and I want to pin them together. I don't want him to be able to take off, because I shot a turkey last year. I shot it, zipped right through him, and the bird took off. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not skilled enough to trail something flying. So I'm a pretty good tracker, but I could not find that turkey, and I know I'm at a good shot on it. So I like to set my bow up with lower poundage. Actually, my wife's bow is about the perfect turkey setup for me, because it's about 40 pounds and it's doing about 220 feet per second. So with Lindsay's setup, I can go out and I can shoot a turkey, and that arrow is going to go into its body and it's going to stay there, and then the turkey cannot fly off. So that's another reason why I like to be on the ground versus being on a tree stand or in a ground blind, because if I shoot a turkey like that, I can actually get up, run out there and grab that turkey. Be careful when you do it, because I've had some that will really flog you. But I can get up, run out there and grab that turkey before it flies off. And if you check out the turkey I shot last year, he's got the two middle feathers in his fan missing. It's because when I went out there to reach and grab him, I reached down and grabbed him and picked him up by his fan, and grabbed his legs underneath. But when I picked him up by his fan, I ripped two feathers out. So my mount on that's nice like that, and it's got a big open spot in the middle of it. So that's why I like to set up on the ground, is to be able to do that, and that's how I like to set my bow up. A good wide cut broadhead, like the anything with 1.5 inch or 2 inch cutting diameter on it. I don't like to use mechanicals because I'm shooting such low poundage, but turkey guillotines and some of this stuff like that will work really good for it, or pretty much any standard broadhead you're shooting. A muzzy, you know, anything like that's going to work good if you put it in the right spot. So I know I covered a lot here, guys, and I hope you can sort this all out and get some good tips from this. And like I said, I am not your typical turkey hunter where I go out and just call the turkey in to me. I hunt them like deer, and it's been I haven't changed that because it's been very successful for me in my area. And I'm not, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm not going to change my ways, and I'm not going to start going out and trying to become a world champion turkey caller when I'm still killing turkeys, hunting them the way I'm hunting them. So hopefully I covered everything. Hopefully I gave you a few tips for some good camo. Be sure to check out this Cloak DNA. It's at cloakdna.com. Really good stuff. Really like this stuff, and it's really going to work real well for turkey and deer. And you know, setup, you get your setup done. You can get it pretty cheap if you know what to look for. So be sure to check out our website, ikesoutdoors.com. Be sure to check out our Facebook page. You can search Ike's Outdoors on Facebook and like us there. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate all your support. Thanks for watching.